If you're the kind of person who's practiced having the herpes conversation in the shower, in the car, or at 2 in the morning, then you're going to want to listen to this because finding the right words can feel really hard and can bring up a lot of anxiety. Do you say something like, I have herpes, I've been diagnosed with herpes, or something else? I used to think that the hardest part was knowing what to say, but even when I figured that out, I realized the hard part came after I said it. So today, I'm going to share what helped me to stop herpes-splaining, why it's important to stay quiet after you disclose, and what someone's reaction can tell you when you do. Hi, I'm Dupree, and I help people to navigate life with herpes. If you've ever been getting close to someone and realized you may have to tell them about your condition, you know how quickly your mind can start racing. You wonder what you're going to say, how they might react, and how much you need to explain. And I totally get it. The first time I had the talk, I thought I needed everything perfectly figured out before I said something. But the hard part was not just saying it. It was learning how to stay quiet after I did. But before we get into it, if you're wishing you had people to talk to about everything that you're going through, you can do that at Herpes Wellness. It's a private community where you can talk to other people just like you and get support from people who get it. I always say that herpes isn't something you heal alone. It's something you heal with other people. So go check it out at herpeswellness.com. The link is in the description. The first time I had the talk, I thought I was totally prepared. I knew what I wanted to say, but as soon as I said it, I just started herpes-splaining. I went on and on about my dating history, my outbreaks, and anything else that I thought might make it easier for someone to accept me. But in reality, I was trying to make myself feel okay again before they even had a chance to respond. So why does telling someone turn into an explanation every time? For me, it was fear. I was afraid that if I didn't explain enough, I'd be rejected, and maybe you've felt that way too. Maybe you've not only rehearsed what you're going to say, but you've rehearsed everything you feel you need to say after it. So here's the question worth asking yourself. When you're getting ready to tell someone, are you focused on what you want to say, or are you already thinking about how you're going to explain it and defend yourself right after? Because if you're already rehearsing that defense, it means that some part of you may still believe that you have to make a case for why someone should want you after your diagnosis. And I want to be honest with you here. Getting diagnosed can bring up real fear of being seen differently, fear of being rejected or losing someone before you've even had a real chance to be in a relationship with them. And that fear makes total sense. But what I learned over time is that the more I tried to explain myself, the more I was allowing fear to control the conversation. I didn't need to make my case, and I didn't need to defend myself. I just needed to tell them that I was diagnosed with herpes, and then I had to shut up and stop talking. Now, I want to share something that happened with my current boyfriend. In the beginning, we were friends first, and there were no expectations. Then one day, when we were hanging out, I told him I was working on something very important to me, but I didn't tell him what it was because I totally thought it would ruin our friendship. I was so nervous about what he would think, which is kind of ironic because it was Herpes Wellness. But he kept asking me what I was working on. So one night, I finally got up the courage and said, I'm ready to show you what I've been working on. And he said, are you sure? And I said, yep. So I went to my office, I grabbed my laptop, I put it on the kitchen counter, and I showed him the Herpes Wellness website. I said, I want you to take a really good look at what I'm working on. He still didn't know about my diagnosis, so it was a really scary moment for me. But after that, I got quiet. And a couple of seconds later, he told me he had to go to the bathroom, and I watched him walk away. Now, I'm not going to lie. I was so nervous just sitting there by myself, and my mind started racing with thoughts like, what is he thinking? And is he going to ditch me? Then he finally came back after what felt like an eternity, and what he said next totally blew me away. He said, I think that what you're doing is beautiful. How can I help? And it was in that moment that I really understood the power of getting quiet. I didn't have to explain anything, and I didn't have to convince him of anything. I just had to give him space to take in what I just shared and let him come to his own decision. Now, that didn't mean we were suddenly in a relationship the next day. We stayed friends for a couple of months. He helped me get herpes wellness off the ground, and over time, we grew closer. And then one day, he told me he wanted to be in a relationship with me. Now look, not every story ends like this. I've also been ghosted and treated differently lots of times after I told someone, and maybe you have been too. So why do I keep sharing this particular story? Because no matter what you say or how you say it, you can't control the outcome, and no amount of herpes-splaining changes that. Your real strength is saying it without sugarcoating it, then getting quiet, and letting them process. And the reaction you get afterwards can tell you more than you think. So, after you tell someone about your condition, what does their reaction actually tell you? Well, someone getting up, taking a minute, and coming back with questions is one kind of reaction, which is what happened with my boyfriend. Some are going to need a minute or time to sit with it before they respond. And then some are going to react in a way that closes the door. And when that happens, it sucks. But here's what I want you to understand. When you get quiet after you tell someone, you get to see what they do with the information. You get to see if they can stay present, ask questions, and want to understand, or if they handle tough conversations by shutting down or pulling away. Your job is to observe, not to perform. After you tell someone about your diagnosis, getting quiet is enough. You don't need to jump back in and try to make the moment more comfortable for them. You don't need to keep explaining yourself, go back and change what you said, or try to talk someone into staying. You just sit back, pay attention, and let them show you how they feel. And when you get quiet, you're not just giving them time to process, you're also giving yourself time to pay attention. Instead of only wondering whether they're going to choose you, you can start asking yourself whether this is someone you would choose for yourself. You're not looking for a perfect reaction or outcome. You're looking for someone who can be present with you in the moment. And that's someone who can listen, who wants to know more, and who takes the time they need without making you feel like you've done something wrong. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If someone says no, it doesn't make them a bad person. They may not want to move forward, and that's totally okay, and that's also their choice. What matters is how they treat you in that moment, which is being kind, honest, and respectful, even if their answer is no. Here's the bottom line. You're looking for someone who can hear you, respect you in the moment, and be honest about where they stand. That's the kind of person you want in your life. Because having this talk isn't just about telling someone you have herpes. It's also about finding out if they can see you for who you are and not just your diagnosis. And that's what their reaction is actually telling you. So before we wrap up, here are 3 things I want you to remember. 1, say what you need to say and then stop talking. You don't need to defend yourself, explain your way into being accepted, or try to control what happens next. 2, your job is to observe and not to perform. Give the other person time to process what you shared and pay attention to how they respond. Number 3, their reaction gives you information. It can show you if they can see you for who you are, not just your diagnosis. And if their answer is no, it doesn't make them a bad person, but it also doesn't get to define your worth. All right, that's all I've got for you today. And again, if you're tired of navigating your condition alone, come and join us at Herpes Wellness. You can join for free and get instant access to forums where you can ask questions, seek advice, and help other members along their journeys. Sign up today at herpeswellness.com. The link is in the description. If you want support on the go, then you can download the Herpes Wellness app for free in both the App Store and in Google Play. If you're concerned about privacy, we've got you totally covered. The app icon and push notifications say H Wellness, so if someone happens to see your screen, you won't disclose your status unintentionally. If you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening on audio, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. Also, be sure to show us some love and give us a like or a hype so other people can find the podcast. And if you like what you're hearing or there's something specific you'd like for me to talk about on the show, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you the next time on the Herpes Wellness Podcast. Bye for now.